Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Sally Jack's TV mum, and it's a pleasure to have your company. If you haven't already seen, then obviously my YouTube channel is all about lifestyle and my family, but it's also about my health, because I had a massive health journey myself with iron deficiency, and there's a whole playlist on iron and health, which obviously this video is going to be part of. So I'm getting tons and tons of messages on a regular basis. It's on a daily basis now with my health on iron, on my playlist on iron, and I would really urge you to also go and look at that. This is vitamin D deficiency, but 1 in 3 women suffer with ferritin, the ferritin, which is a mineral deficiency. And I get through Twitter, through Facebook, through Instagram, through YouTube, I'm getting messages every single day, and it's lovely, and I'm trying to help as many people as I can, and as far as I'm aware, I'm answering everybody. So this video, I'm going to cover vitamin D deficiency. So what I wanted to go through is all the signs and symptoms and what you need to look for and where your blood levels should be and so on and so forth. Now I have to start and tell you, I am not medically trained. And that's really important to get in, because obviously with no medical training, if you need to go and look into all of this, then of course go and have a look, but also make sure you speak to your doctor as well. But I am going to be telling you that in England, especially, the NICE comms guidelines are too wide. So it's very much like ferritin. So if you go and you're more likely to be picked up with vitamin D deficiency now because of things that's happened in the last sort of 5-6 years, because of a trend. However, I will tell you, you've got to sort of almost kind of take it into your own hands and have a look at it, and then work out with your doctor what kind of level of IUs, that's international units, you're going to take. Now, if anything comes in, very, very quickly from the top, if anything comes in when you're getting that vitamin D3, and it needs to be D3 because your body absorbs it better, when you are picking up on D3 from wherever you want to buy it from, or whether it might be the doctor subscribing it, but if you're buying it from the marketplace, then you need to check that obviously it's a good one, it's D3, and if it's measured in UGs, you need to convert that to IUs. So at this present moment in time, they recommend between 1,000 IUs to 4,000 IUs a day. If you are vitamin D deficient, your doctor may give you a lot higher dose. I actually take 5,000 IUs a day, but that's okay. I've spoken to a couple of vitamin D specialists, and they've said that's okay for me to do. You can sort of push it up to 5,000, but don't you do it unless you've actually spoken to somebody. Now, vitamin D deficiency causes a whole host of things, a whole host of symptoms, things like hair loss. It makes your bones weaker. It's actually linked to multiple sclerosis. It's linked to heart disease. It's linked to cognitive problems, especially if you're older, but a lot of younger people have had effects like brain fog, etc. So it's kind of very, very similar to what ferritin is. It's also linked to cancer, and believe it or not, you are at a 20% higher risk of developing cancer if you've had vitamin D deficiency. Now, if you are vitamin D deficient, it is actually, once it's gone into the body, it turns into a hormone. So it can also give you a lot of hormonal imbalances, and that can also lead to things like depression, low mood, fatigue, and all those kind of things. It really is and can affect you greatly, vitamin D deficiency, and it's not very nice. I know that last year, and don't just think, they say you can hardly get it from the diet. It's only really in egg yolks and fish. If you want to get it elsewhere, then you may find that it's been fortified in foods, but actually in the UK we need to fortify a bit more. Because we live in a northern hemisphere, we're not getting it obviously through our skin either as much, because it's dark, and then we wear long clothing, or we cover up, or we put a high SPF factor on. Now, that's not telling you to take yourself down on that SPF, that's sun protection factor. No, that's the wrong way to do it, because of course then you've got the links to skin cancer, so you've got to be very careful. And actually, if you go out in the sun, the more you tan, the darker your skin becomes, the less vitamin D you actually take in. So that's why you often find as well the BAME groups, which is the Black, Asian, minority ethnicity groups, will be more vitamin D deficient. They're darker skin, they're not penetrating the vitamin D the same. Now it goes in and it goes into your liver and then it's distributed around your body. And if you're vitamin D deficient for a long period of time, it can lead to some not very nice things. So it's very important that you keep on top of it. It's really imperative that you know where those levels are. Another really interesting fact is that if you carry a lot of weight, so if you've got a lot of, and it's not politically correct to say it, but it is, fat cells on your body, if you have more fat, then the vitamin D can't penetrate it. So actually what you find is the bigger you are, if you are carrying more weight, the more likely you are to be vitamin D deficient. And then it has a knock-on effect, because if you are vitamin D deficient, you have more problems losing weight. So if you're vitamin D deficient, you have a struggle with losing weight. So it has a whole knock-on effect. It makes asthma worse, autoimmune diseases. If you've got an autoimmune disease, then a lot of those are caused by vitamin D deficiency. So like things like hay fever and allergies, etc. It may be that your vitamin D is a little bit low. So just to give you a little bit of a story, and obviously this is a personal one within my family, but a member of our family, a child within our family, had quite a lot of autoimmune diseases and asthma and was actually taken to hospital. And it's come out okay now, but he wasn't in a good place. You know, he was very, very close. We were very close to losing him. And I rattled on and on and on and on and on for this child to be taking vitamin D. And then this year, the vitamin D has been given to that child, and that child has made an immense progress. They're off their allergy tablets, which has been prescribed by the doctor. Their asthma is a lot better. They're out and about. They had an allergy to Timothy grass. That's obviously gone. They're out cycling in Timothy grass and have no problems now. So you really do need to look at your vitamin D level. So where should your levels be? And let me tell you, it's one of the biggest deficiencies in the world, along with iron, and it is the biggest deficiency within a child, along with iron, with ferritin. So it's very important that not just getting yourself checked, but also getting your children checked if you can withstand having a blood test on them. If they're ill, then of course a doctor will automatically give them a blood test, but under 11 years old in the UK, we don't give blood tests to children, although I paid to have my son done privately, just so I knew where he was, and I actually give him vitamin D3 and he has it every single day. So they actually call it, so also I must tell you, because of the asthma, it also gives you upper respiratory tract problems as well. Now these are linked to coronaviruses. Now this is very important that you hear that, because there's no proven actual data yet for COVID-19, but there is proven data for other coronaviruses, such as things like SARS, MERS, pneumonia, flu, and the common cold. So they have actual data to prove that if you're vitamin D deficient, you are more likely to be ill and iller for longer with any of those coronaviruses. COVID-19, there's no actual proven data as yet, but if you follow, and I do, a lot of the vitamin D specialists, you will hear that they're banging on about it at the moment, saying we need to get these levels up, we need to get these levels up. Because at the moment, if you went and had a blood test at the moment for the NHS, this is in the UK, then if your levels are between a certain point, which is too low, then you're classed as being okay. So very similar to my iron, very similar to my ferritin. And remember, 1 in 3 women are iron deficient. So if you want to go and check those videos out, I've got a whole host of information on that, because that caused me to have terrible mental health problems and all sorts of problems with my body. And obviously my iron infusion corrected me. So it'd be well worth you going and have a look at that. So they measure your vitamin D level in what's called 25-hydroxy, and they measure it as Ng/ml, and that's how they measure. So that's how your your blood test will come out. So what you really want, what they do say is optimum level is 100. They're all sort of speaking at the moment saying you definitely need to be up there at 75. So if you were sat at 50, you really kind of are sat at a basic level. Anything less than that, you need to be looking at taking a supplement. Everybody really should be, this is what I've been told, everybody really should be taking a vitamin D3 supplement every single day. Obviously, you can take too much, and that's why it's really important that you hear me when I say you need to go and get those levels done. It's really, really, really important that you go and get that 25 hydroxy test done for your vitamin D. Now, I do have a link below, because obviously, if you all know me at the moment, with a friend of mine, we're campaigning for folate, B12, ferritin, and vitamin D, and all those levels we found with our deficiencies, my friend and I carry, we've actually found that with those deficiencies it can make you very, very poorly, and all those deficiencies are read too low by the NHS. That's the Nice Comms guidelines. And I have on a regular basis a lot of people emailing me and messaging me through all my social platforms, that's Instagram, Twitter, Facebook and YouTube on a regular, this is every single day, I will answer a ferritin question. So I still want you to check your ferritin, but I also want to check your vitamin D, because it's not actual proven data, but there's a hypothesis out there that actually says that if you're iron deficient, you're less likely to synthesize your vitamin D. So they recommend around about 20 or 30 minutes every single day in the sun, but it doesn't have to be blazing hot sunshine. And what they do say, a doctor that I spoke to, is that you don't synthesize it through your face the same. So it's a lot better to be able to get it onto your forearms. The other thing you've got to be very careful of is, obviously it's very important to keep hydrated. If you drink out of plastic bottles on a regular basis, you've probably heard of the term BPA. And if your plastic bottle has BPA in it and you're drinking out of that on a regular basis, that can actually put a stop to how your body absorbs your vitamin D. So that's really important as well, that you check that everything that you're drinking out of is BPA free. So, you know those symptoms, you know what you're looking for. It might not be that, but it's worth checking out and it's worth ruling out, and it's worth going to the doctors. It suppresses your immune system. It messes with a lot of things in your body. It has a knock-on effect with other hormones in your body. It can affect, or it can cause diabetes 1, diabetes 2. It can cause cancer. It can cause heart disease. It can cause multiple sclerosis, weaken bones. It can cause you to have more infections than ever. It can make you feel very poorly. It can make you feel very depressed. It can give you hair loss. There is a whole host of stuff that vitamin D deficiency can cause. So what I would say to you is go and rule it out. And below, I've got a blood test that I've sorted out with Forthwith Life, and you can go and have that done. I've given you the levels, but obviously make sure you're speaking it through with the doctor as well. But I've given you the details below of Forthwith Life. You can have a finger prick test done with them, where you can check all those vitamins that I talk about, so that, and minerals. So that's ferritin. You can check your ferritin, Ferritin Saturation, Serum Iron, B12, folate and vitamin D. And this is the campaign that we're doing at the moment to try and change those Nice Comm guidelines here in the UK, because they are way too wide and a lot of people aren't being picked up on if they're at the lower end. Vitamin D deficiency, I was a little bit deficient last year, only a little bit, and it kicked in and it felt horrible, and I knew something wasn't right with my body. It was around about August of last year of 2019, and I was feeling a little bit low again, and I thought the ferritin hadn't worked properly, but actually when I went for a blood test, I noticed that my vitamin D was a little low for me. I got those levels back up. I felt a lot better. And remember, if you are deficient, it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen within a week. It's not going to happen within 2 weeks. If you're very, very deficient, it could take 3 or 4 months for it to build up in your body. But you'll also notice a mood lift. You could notice that you're not as tired as you once were. There's a whole host of things. I've got a lot of my family on it because of the background with coronaviruses, obviously not with COVID-19. I'm going to say yeah, because I think there's going to be something that's going to come out with this. But of course, with other coronaviruses, thank you for watching. Please go and check. The link is below if you want to go privately with the bloods, but you can go and have it done free at your doctor's. You choose which way you want to go. But I hope that's helped in many, many ways. And I hope that's given you an insight of how awful vitamin D deficiency is and how important it is to get that sunshine vitamin, which actually turns into a hormone when it's in your body. Thank you for watching. I love you lots as always. Take care of yourself, especially in these challenging times. So stay safe, take care, stay alert, and stay alert to those deficiencies. I'll see you in the next video.